We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use the box at sign up for 10 points. And here we go.
Well, welcome, everybody. And as The Rock would say, finally, we are back. Total Degenerates. Myself, Brian Hess, along, as always, with Ryan Hovermale. What's going on, Ryan?
I'm glad you're feeling better, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciated. Also joined by Scoops, Paul Allen from the Baseline Jumper Show. Paul's going to be joining us regularly now on Total Degenerate Show. Glad to have you along there, Paulie.
Yeah, man. It's good to be here.
He's an actual degenerate, by the way, so he actually fits in perfectly. By the way, the Denver Nuggets on a quick 5-0 run since we last talked. It's 16-13 back in the ball game.
Maybe I will mute that.
So the Total Degenerate Show, as always, along with the rest of our shows here on the Sports Box, sponsored by CrowdPlay. Free app you can download on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Win cash and prizes by answering live sports questions. Use our exclusive code, THEBOX, that's THEBOX, all one word, at sign up for 10 free points. Go over there and check them out. Well, boys, like you said, we've got some NBA action ongoing right now. We got the Nuggets and Jazz just tipped off about 20 minutes ago, halfway through the first quarter. We got Dallas and the Clippers tonight. Got some baseball. We got hockey, football futures. What are we going to talk about first? Do we want to get the Sixers and that nonsense out of the way right away?
Hey, I'm happy with the last game. Covered that spread, baby. That's all I give a shit about.
I turned it off. They were down 12. I'm like, well, they're not going to cover.
Yep,
there was like a minute and a half left.
Well, they made the garbage 3.
In the bubble, they were 6 out of the 11 games that they played. They blew a cover in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I think I was on 5 out of 6 of them, by the way.
No doubt. I was too. I might have bet them every single game they played.
And granted, I mean, if you were watching anything of the Baseline Jumper, I mean, I specifically said they have 0 shot without Ben Simmons.
No.
And yet every time they lost the game, the next one I was just like, all right, well, this is the one that they'll cover this one. I think they're going to win. So I was just loading up everything, and then they just completely embarrassed myself. Not good.
And it goes to show you all the people that talk about what does Ben really do? What does he really bring to the team? He doesn't shoot this, that, the other. Well, guess what? Without him, they're absolutely awful.
Yeah.
They're a 7th or 8th seed if they're lucky without Ben Simmons. That's how bad that team is.
And you know what? You bring up a great point, because a lot of talk going around is, do we trade? Do the Sixers trade Embiid? Do they trade Simmons? What kind of moves do we make? And I said, just bring in a new coach and see if he can make these pieces work, make these pieces fit before
100%.
you start breaking this team up. Because you bring in a guy like, now this is my perfect scenario, you trade picks and go get Greg Popovich out of San Antonio. I don't know how much longer he wants to coach, but I think he wants to step aside and maybe go on to another team for a couple of years, let Becky Hammond, who is the assistant down there in San Antonio, take over that team. I mean, listen, the Clippers and Celtics did this like a couple years ago. You know, the Clippers traded picks to Boston to get Doc Rivers out of there.
Right.
So it can be done.
And by the way, the Celtics just replaced him with a better coach, which is unbelievable.
How about that?
The Celtics are the luck. Talk about the luck of the Irish with picks, with coaches, with players they bring. It's insane. Meanwhile, we can't catch a break.
So what, they drafted the best player in the draft a couple years ago, and it's paying off.
Oh. And we got Markelle Fultz.
Crazy.
Yeah, but listen, that with Markelle Fultz, that's where this train went off the rails for me. Because, all right, you want to say Tatum is looking back on it. Markelle Fultz was kind of the consensus number 1 pick in that draft, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
For Boston.
All right.
Yeah, they should.
Fair enough. You want to take it that way, okay?
Yeah.
But Markelle Fultz, if he panned out the way he was supposed to, the Sixers are in a dynasty for 10 years because he fits exactly what the Sixers are missing. An off-ball guard that can create his own shot and shoot. And him busting completely threw this off.
Sure. Especially the way he played in college. That was who he was. He was awesome.
Yeah, well, coming out of that draft, I mean, granted, Jason Tatum was the best off-ball scorer, I believe, in that class. And it was perfect for us. We had him falling at 3. And I mean, whatever the front office did to screw that up, I mean, granted, yes, like you said, Fultz busted here. He's came into a pretty nice rollover in Orlando.
Yeah, he's not bad in Orlando.
Which I said I would take him back now.
I would. He's better than the glass. I would take Trey Burke back now too. By the way.
Yeah, he looks real good in Utah, don't he?
Yeah, and out there in Dallas, he's just lighting the world up. He's doing exactly what he has done for his career, but someone actually gave him a chance. And it's just sickening to me to watch however you say it, Neto out. I mean, listen,
don't get me started on him.
He's fine if you want a guy who does little to nothing but not screw up. Yeah. If you just need a guy who's not going to score, but he's not going to turn it over, he's also not going to play that well on the defensive end. There's your guy.
Well, you would have thought Neto. You would have thought Neto was like the rich man's T.J. McConnell, and T.J. McConnell's actually been playing pretty well.
T.J. McConnell has it all over Neto. It's not even close. Not even close. But yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at the odds for the next Sixers head coach.
Ooh.
And right now, where's my man Ty Lue at?
Plus 300.
I was going to say he's up to plus 300 now.
He's in the lead.
Odds on favorite.
Yeah, I mean once I would say once Woj puts out a report on it, he said he's kind of the front runner in that whole.
Well, there's some mutual interest there. Obviously, Ty Lue's going to want to go to a winner. So I'm looking at some of the other odds. We got Kenny Atkinson at plus 500. I want no parts of that.
I'm okay there.
Yeah, Sam Cassell at plus 600 is kind of interesting, but are we going to really go with a guy with no NBA head coaching experience? I mean, the guy's been an assistant for a couple years. Is also the ugliest human on the planet.
Bird dog.
My man is a straight alien, bro. Him and Tyrone Hill.
Remember Popeye Jones, though? Jones?
Oh, my God.
That dude was.
Woo. And then Jay Wright at plus 800. So what are our thoughts on those guys? Where's the value at if you want to bet this?
I don't think there's any value on Jay Wright personally. I don't think he's leaving. I don't think it's a good idea for him to leave. It's very rare. Well, you say that, and you have Billy Donovan that came from Florida, and Brad Stevens that came from Butler, that are two of the best coaches in the league in my mind. But other than that, it really doesn't work out that often. And I see Jay Wright as the perfect college basketball coach. He's suave. He dresses nice. He can talk the talk, and he can bring in the guys that he wants every single year.
Right.
I don't think he's going to leave that. I don't think that there's any reason for him to. I mean, when you're talking value, plus 300 that's pretty decent value.
It's not bad for a front runner.
And you look at everything. It's probably going to be Ty Lue. He's got the experience. He's won. He's dealt with personalities before. I know it was LeBron that won. I see you looking at me like that, but he was still on the bench. He was still on the bench.
Yeah, he actually might have been happier than LeBron. They showed the clip of him today when he was like running down the side of the court when the clock was about to expire. But somebody, I mean, obviously it's in every Philadelphia fan's head. Now you're bringing in your coach to coach the team who might have had one of the most disrespectful memories as an opposing player to come in. I mean, we're going to get absolutely crushed with memes and GIFs if he comes here. The Iverson, Embiid, I can just see it now. Embiid's face on Iverson stepping over him. It's just not going to look good. But I mean, I think that's who I would say that they're going to.
Yeah, that's who it's going to be. Hess, like you said, I'd be more than okay with Sam Cassell at this point. I think Sam Cassell, we talked about it a little bit in the group chat. I think that the Sixers need a coach that was a former NBA player. I think that they need a guy who is going to come in there and hold everybody accountable, which a former NBA player would do. And right now we're talking about Ty Lue and Sam Cassell, who are 2 point guards in their career. So by nature, they have to command the guys on the court. They have to hold people accountable. They have to make sure people are in the right place. So I think, either one of those, in my mind, I'm fine with. I just want somebody to come in here and make guys do what they're supposed to do. Get Joel to stop being lazy. Get Ben to shoot the goddamn basketball. Get Tobias Harris to get more than 6 rebounds a game when you're 6'8", so on and so forth.
I mean, listen, you hit it on the head. Like Ty Lue, I think the only thing that would hold up him coming to the Sixers is if he chose Brooklyn over the Sixers. All right, so if he says, you know what, I want to go. I've dealt with Kyrie before. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Okay, and KD's there, and they can make a run. I mean, honestly, Kyrie and Kevin Durant are more talented than Embiid and Simmons are. And as far as Jay Wright goes, why would he leave? Listen, if I'm the Sixers, he's the first name I'm calling. But if I'm Jay Wright, first thing I'm doing when they call is hang up the damn phone because I'm not leaving. Why would I leave?
No, I mean Jay Wright said that multiple times that he does not have any aspirations of going up to the next level.
Well, this would be the one job he would do it for, though.
That's true. You're going. Listen,
yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit in the chat as well. There's a lot of things wrong with the Sixers. Don't get me wrong. But if you're a coach looking to go into a position where you have the chance to win right away, there is no better opportunity, maybe other than Brooklyn. But the Philadelphia 76ers are ready to win. They have every single piece you can imagine, except maybe, you're going to want to go out and get a couple shooters. You're going to want to do little things. But your core is already there, and they're already signed for 2, 3, 4 years down the road. It's a no-brainer that you want to come.
Yeah.
It's just,
and look, he already has the city won over.
Correct.
Right.
I mean, Philly is a tough city for guys to come in as players and coaches. And, I mean, from what he's done at Villanova the past several years, I mean, he has the city behind him to where he can come in, get comfortable. And, I think he'd be great here. But, like I said, I don't think he has any aspirations on going anywhere else besides the Villanova. That's a W, but same thing.
W. I like it. What do you got? One of these? How about that? One name.
Stinks, by the way.
One name. Yeah, okay. I can't wait till we play UConn.
Oh, go
Big East game again, bro. Come on.
Can't wait till we all go to Connecticut and you guys take that whole trip and I'm standing there dumping beer on myself, throwing it all, celebrating with the college kids. We're going to we're going to
I bet UConn.
UConn. So is Willie. Willie's coming too.
From when Kemba Walker went on that Big East tournament run from that day, they had me.
Listen, that game, the dagger that he had in game 3
was
that brought back some nightmares, man.
Oh yeah, and the sick part is I sat there and I was like, he's gonna do a step back and he's gonna drill it, and he did the same exact thing. And the 6 people I'm sitting there watching it with were like, what the? I was like, that's fucking UConn in 2000 whatever. What was that? 08? No, I don't even. When they win it? When that year?
I'm sorry. Say again.
When he ran on the big run at UConn, he did that step back 15 times.
That was against Pitt.
The one against Pitt, but he was just constantly had it.
I think he had 4 or 5 game winners that year.
Yeah.
He averaged like 30 points when they went on that run. It was in my listen, I'm biased, obviously, but in my mind, that is the greatest run in college basketball history.
They had to win the Big East team and get in.
They weren't even going to be a tournament team.
Right.
They go on that run and they just don't lose another game from the Big East tournament. Just an amazing, amazing run, and he did it to us again.
Yep. Couple comments. Drew Trammell. Definitely don't love the Celtics. You know what's funny? I hate the Celtics. All right, they're probably my most hated team in the NBA. It didn't really even bother me, honestly. because I knew going into that series we weren't going to win.
You accepted it.
Win, so what?
Once Ben was out, I chalked him up.
Exactly.
There was no way. There was no way. That was
the sick part is though, you look at that team, and what we said, they blew however many covers in the last 2 minutes of the game. Every game they were in. They were in every single game until the last couple of possessions. If they have Ben Simmons, they probably win that series 4-1, 4-2. Celtics are sitting home, and we got to wait another couple weeks for Brett Brown to get fired. But they beat the Celtics with Simmons. That's why I
think so too.
Yep.
The Celtics are very good. They're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. They had Tatum and Kemba can score, and they have some other guys. Marcus Smart just always seems to make big shots. But I said it in the first game. If you're the Sixers, you have to shoot 70 shots from inside the paint because the Celtics cannot defend you in there. They just can't do it. They don't have enough size. They weren't able to do that. With Ben Simmons, everything changes. Who's stopping him on that Celtics team from getting to the rim? Nobody. You know, it's him being out just absolutely destroyed their chances. There was no shot.
Comment coming in from Barry there. With Embiid and Simmons, we better hope it's Phil Jackson. Swept by the Celtics in the first round after one shot away from the Eastern Conference Finals year before. The team is soft.
I mean, like we said, they're missing their best player, and they lost every game. They weren't blown out of any game. I mean,
that's the crazy part.
They were right there every game.
They had leads in every game.
Barry, Ben controls the ball every possession. That's a big guy to lose. I mean, it's not as. I mean, if you lose Embiid, I think they probably still get fucking swept.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Even more so, you probably would have got blown out in a
right. They probably got blown.
Yeah. Because I mean, the thing with Embiid, his plus minus or on off court was still the problem. When he's on the court, they outscore their opponents. When he's off the court, they get their doors blown off because they have, and that was supposed to be Al Horford, and the dude aged 20 years in a year.
And he doesn't
the albatross of a damn contract for the next 2 years.
I was excited to get Horford when we
so was I.
Listen, when it first happened, I didn't understand it really. But then the more you look at it, I'm like, all right, now we have a legit backup for Ben. He can play the stretch for a little bit. This is going to be great. He didn't do anything all year.
No, didn't look too good.
No, and you guys said, we couldn't cover these games at the end. We were in these games until the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Yep.
Listen, with or without Ben on the floor, that's been our Achilles heel when we were losing games all year, even in some of the losses in previous years, was the opponent's coach would outcoach Brett Brown.
In the third quarter.
In the third quarter, I mean, yeah, we talked about that all the time. We have a 10-point halftime lead, and then we're down by 15 by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. But in the last 5 or 6 minutes of these Celtics games, you saw it. We're right there, or we might have had a small lead, and we just can't do it. We just can't hold on to the lead. Can't make shots at the end. Brad Stevens did a hell of a job making defensive adjustments. Instead of waiting for Embiid to get the ball and make moves before they double team them. At the last 5-6 minutes, they're getting right to him as soon as he gets the ball. And now he's got to make a pass, and he'll turn it over. You saw it time and time again. So I want to see, like Chris Tenta says, I want to see what this team does with a different coach or a real coach, as he says, before we're trading away our star players.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, we might know by the middle of the year next year with a new coach that, listen, maybe it's not the coach. Maybe it just doesn't work. And that's fine. At that point, maybe you look to move somebody at the trade deadline. But I'm not giving up on
which one?
At least Ben and Joe. I'm not giving up.
On, get rid of. What'd you say?
I'm not giving up on either of them yet. I've said from the beginning, and I'm going to continue. I have to get rid of one. I'm getting rid of Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It's
exactly where I'm at. I think Ben Simmons is, way better than I think. But
yeah,
shooting. Hopefully, if you get shooting later with Ben, you have LeBron James again. You have a great player.
Yep.
I mean, Embiid is just it's not that type of league anymore where you can rely on a big down the stretch too much.
But that's kind of a problem though, because you know what, other teams are going to see that,
right?
And they're not going to give you as much for Embiid as you think they would give you, but you might get more for a Ben Simmons.
I think you do get more for Ben.
Oh yeah,
absolutely get more for Ben. He's got a ton more upside, whereas I think Joel's hit his ceiling.
Yeah, you know what Joel is. You know exactly what he is. He's a guy who's going to bang down low. He can make jumpers. He's going to shoot a little bit too many threes. But
sounds like a team like Golden State would love him.
Right, where he don't have to shoot, where he's like the fourth option on offense, and he just goes out there and defends the other team's best guy.
They have the second pick, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, that's another reason I don't want to trade them now, is because this draft isn't.
It's awful. Let's be honest.
Your top three guys, the top three guys are all right.
You're okay, but
but those top three guys would not be. They wouldn't be in the top 5 in most other drafts.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right. And listen, they might turn into stars. I think that Obi Toppin kid has one of the highest ceilings. I don't even see him going top 5 right now. But it's not a draft that, if you're the Sixers, that you're going to give up a young star to try to move up in. Now, we talked about this, if the Warriors say, hey, we're going to give you Wiggins and we're going to give you Jordan Poole and we're going to give you another guy and we're going to give you the second pick. Oh, and by the way, we'll give you a couple more picks down the road. Maybe you entertain the idea, but
or how about you just all of them and just give us Clay?
That's true too. That's true too.
Paul McCree, co-host of the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Show on Monday nights.
I am.
He needs a parlay tonight. McCree needs a parlay. What do we got? Anything? What do you think?
7:30 at night, bud.
You got to put them parlays in early.
Yeah, we got a couple late baseball games. We got hockey at 8:00. We got
there's still a lot.
One more basketball game. Come on.
Listen,
I like to get my parlays in early in the evening, so then that way when I go on tilt, I can get actually hammered for the late ones.
So if you're kind of looking at the Clippers Mavs for later, it opened at 6. Dallas getting 52% of the bets, and it's all the way up to 8.5.
8.5 now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking. That sounds to me, or looks to me, I should say, like
now. Granted, it opened up with Porzingis.
With Porzingis playing,
right? So Porzingis is out, which absolutely sucks. Like, why? I hate when that happens in a playoff series.
It doesn't seem that it's too serious.
I mean, it's like, Porzingis has that MO though. He's kind of injury prone, but I just want to see the full series with all the players. And I said, if Dallas wins this game, I'm like, I swear to God, they win the series, and I would put everything on it. And then now you got to see a game without Porzingis, and Luka's kind of banged up. But who'd you say you liked in that one?
It looks to me like the line's moving in the Clippers' direction.
Yeah, Clippers.
After the loss they just took, the way that they took it, you figure they're going to come out. They're going to be ready to go. I don't know if the Mavs, and especially Luka, maybe he can, but I don't know if Hardaway and Curry and all these other guys are going to continue to shoot the 3 at a 50% clip.
Seth Curry has been lights out.
Yeah, they haven't been missing. So at some point you'd have to figure. And the other thing is, Paul George hasn't made a shot. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. At some point, the averages are going to come back around. Water finds its level. And you got to figure Seth Curry, Hardaway, they start to miss a couple shots. Paul George has one of those games. Kawhi does what Kawhi does, and they pull out a 10 to 15-point victory.
So I'm looking at a couple prop bets here, and I'm glad you brought up Paul George. Under 22.5 points gets you plus 109. What do you guys think on that one?
That's begging for action under 22.5, and I hate it. Hammer the over.
Wow.
Clearly.
Wow.
Why mean, 23 points isn't a lot of points for a guy like Paul George. They're giving you plus money on it. They're begging you to take it.
Fair enough. And the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
The way he's been playing, I mean, obviously everybody's just going to be hammering the under.
Yeah, he's had a couple bad.
All right.
I would take the over there. Again, when you look at what he's done, not only this season but throughout his career, he's a scorer. He can shoot the three, he can get to the basket. He plays defense. He does all these things that he hasn't done in this series yet.
He's got to do something.
Yeah, it's game 5.
And you look at a couple of the other props. Lewis Williams under is plus money. Kawhi's under is plus money. They want all the under money. So you got that's 3 of the top scorers on the Clippers. Okay, right. The bet is the overs for all 3 of them guys, right? So that's another 3 things pointing to a Clippers blowout victory, right there.
Right. I mean, all signs right now, literally all signs are pointing to a Clippers blowout victory. So take the Mavericks on the money line and cash your ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what will happen.
Somebody was saying with Paul George, it was on Twitter. He's like, his fucking nickname is perfect. PG-13 because he's a fucking child. The fourth quarter. He's flipping out. He's like, he's not rated R. Luka's rated R. I was watching, man. I mean, Paul George has just fell off a little in this series. I mean, now that we are on the topic of him, but Dallas.
Luka has been insane. That's gotta come back to earth too. Everything points.
Yeah, that's been this whole season with Luka though. He's
ridiculous.
His over under is 32.5 tonight.
Luka, that's
I like the under
crazy
on
one there.
Right, without Porzingis, everybody in the world should be just
should be taking it over. Yeah, I don't know.
Kawhi or Paul George should be on him all game. Why they were not on him on that last play in Game 4 was beyond me.
They switched a screen, an easy switch,
right.
where Kawhi could have come over top or even dropped below it. He wasn't going to shoot it from there. There was too much time left. Right. It was going to take 4 seconds. I don't understand why they would switch that screen that early in the clock. Didn't make any sense.
I think the possession before that, Kawhi was
he called for
he pointed him out and he's like, I got Luka. Then they did one little half-pass pick and he was like on the other side of the court.
Makes no sense.
Lou Williams is guarding him up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Never been a big fan of switching screens like that. I mean, certain guys fine, but when you got a guy who's out of his mind making everything, you don't want Lou Williams guarding him. You don't want it. It's not or Zubats or Zubic, whatever his name. You can't have him guarding. It's silly.
All right, so moving on, let's touch on a little bit of hockey. We got Boston and Tampa going on right now. Boston's already up 1-0. How you like that, Hav?
I love it. I love the fact that I got the Stars 2-0. Brian T. Attard, Chalky Tisbird, loves taking chalk, and I kept telling him, I don't even watch hockey, but I've watched it since it was on in the afternoon, and I'm a degenerate, and I bet games in the afternoon. So I started to really watch, and I truly believe that when all things are considered, the Stars are better built right now than the Avalanche are. The Avalanche are they can overwhelm you, which they did to the Coyotes. They beat them 7-1 2 games in a row. It's ridiculous the way that they can score. But the Stars they don't do anything terribly wrong. Maybe they're not the greatest offensive team, the greatest defensive team, but they're damn good at both. And they're going to continue to do things the right way. I told you guys I love them game 1. I love them game 2. I like them for the rest of the series. Boston is the same way. You have this Lightning team. They're so good every year. They're winning the President's Cup every single year, like the Capitals used to, and they always blow it in the playoffs. Boston is just as good as Tampa Bay. How many coffees am I winning on that, Hess? 6? 8?
I think you're up 5 or 6 coffees at this point. So we got Vancouver and Vegas here at 9:45 tonight. My play on that one is I would take the Vegas puck line. Listen, Vancouver had a nice run. All right, they upset the Blues. I think that was the end of the line for them. Vegas came out and absolutely destroyed them in Game 1. I see more of the same. I just think Vegas is way too good. They're much better goaltending team than St. Louis was. Better defensively and better off. They're just a better team. And I think this series is gonna be over in 4 or 5 games. I think Vegas wins tonight by multiple goals. I would take the puck line at plus 123.
Absolutely agree. I was reading something about Vancouver in the last series, and what it basically this article said was, if Vancouver is going to beat you, it's got to be a skills competition. It's got to be a talent show, and that's exactly what it is. Vancouver ain't stopping nobody. The goalie's fine, but they're defensively they're awful. Now they have all the offensive talent in the world, and they can score with you. But when, like you said, Hess, when you're talking about a team like Vegas, who is probably the most talented in hockey right now, it's not going to be a talent show. It's going to be grinded out. It's going to be, dump the puck and chase. It's going to be cycle it around, get shots from the point, get in front of the net, get rebounds. And that's not the way Vancouver wants to play. They want wide open hockey where nobody's crowded up and they can move the puck and skate. That's not how it's going to be.
Yeah. And speaking of wide open
shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And speaking of wide open hockey, this Dallas-Colorado series. Now, Colorado's had a couple injuries. Johnson, Grubauer, the goalies, he's out. The overs have been hitting the first 2 games. It's still only 5.5. These over-unders. They keep leaving it at 5.5. It seems like easy money to me. Seems like easy money. And listen, you're going to keep leaving at 5.5. I'm going to keep taking the over and keep winning my bets.
Yeah, I took the under. I took Dallas in the under last night because, again, they're going to score 8 goals in the first game, and you're still going to keep it at 5.5. That was fishy to me. So I said, I'm going to outsmart everybody. I'm going to take the under. And by the second period, it was 4-2 or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, there goes that.
Hockey normally doesn't stray away too far from that 5.5 over under.
Normally
5 to 6.
Yeah, they kind of sit in that.
And the Islanders and Flyers tomorrow, the over under is 5. And because you got 2 teams,
I see 4.5. I see 4.5 right now.
Wow. Okay, I'm looking at DraftKings right now.
Yeah,
that's about as low as you're going to see because you got 2 teams here that love to grind it out. Islanders, like they did in Game 1 last night. I mean, they just pile 3 guys on defense in front of the net, and you can't get a pass off. You can't get a shot off. They block everything. With these goalies, Varlamov and Hart are playing fantastic.
Varlamov was ridiculous last night.
But they're just great defensively.
What was I looking at? What was it?
By the way, the Jazz are once again just shooting the lights out of the gym. They just don't miss. Jordan Clarkson, who stinks, can't miss a shot right now.
I switched to the Phillies, and they're in a fucking rain delay.
It's not even raining. It's not even raining in Washington. They're in a goddamn rain delay. Washington is the friggin' worst with that shit.
No, but
they postponed a game. Anyway, speaking of baseball.
If you truly think the Flyers are going to win the series, you get some good odds on their like the correct scores. You got to pick the series right. I think like 4-2. Let me pull it back up. Like 4-2, you're at plus 500 for the Flyers. If you say Flyers win in 7, you got plus 460. So you got some good odds over there if you like to. You think the Flyers are going to come back and win.
I mean, at this point, if you watch that game yesterday, you know it's going. If you're betting on the Flyers, you're betting for it to go at least 6 at minimum. So the value to me would be 7, or put a little bit on 6 and 7 if you think they're going to win the series.
Or plus 1,000 if you think the Flyers are going to sweep the rest of the series.
Ooh, I don't think so.
That'd be a tough one. That'd be a tough one there. Speaking of another Philly team, the Phillies, who were up 4-1 before this rain delay, as Paulie just mentioned, with their absolutely awful bullpen, if you believe they're going to blow another lead, the live line is plus 480 for the Nationals.
Don't say that because I got him minus 1.5.
All right.
Same.
I got him on the run line.
Same.
On the run line.
So yeah, I mean they make.
I also have the Red Sox. They stink.
Yeah, dude. They do. They are bad. They are bad.
The Red Sox, the Royals, and the Pirates always make me bet on them, and they always screw me every single game.
don't know. Red Sox are they're one of the worst teams in baseball.
I think they are the worst team in baseball.
Terrible.
Yeah, they're really bad. But what that comes with is overinflated lines, so you can get them at plus 1.5 at plus money all the time. And you think it's this great deal, and then you watch the games and you're like, oh, that's why this team is god awful. They can't pitch, they can't hit, they can't field, they do nothing.
Nope.
So looking at a couple of these later baseball lines, we got Pittsburgh and the White Sox. I love that White Sox team. I mean, offensive. I mean, they have so much young talent. Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Yohan Moncada, Tim Anderson. I love the way that they constructed this team, and they have Lucas Giolito pitching today, the guy that I just traded to Mr. Hovermale in our fantasy baseball league. So I'm sure he'll put up a nice 30 burger for you today.
What he'll do is he'll give up. He'll go 2 1/3, 11 hits, 16 runs, 7 walks.
That's the Pirates. It's the Pirates. Stink.
Oh, it's the Pirates. All right.
Stink.
14 rounds. 14 rounds.
If you bet the run line, which means the White Sox have to win by 2, you're still giving money.
Yeah. What is it, like minus 140, 130, somewhere in there?
Yeah, 130.
Yeah. See, those are the kind of bets that if you look at that as a bettor, there's zero value to that. There is absolutely no reason for you to take it. If you either stay away from that game or you take the underdog. I know Paul's looking at what, minus 130 to win by 2.
There's always a reason to take a game.
I get it. There's always so what you do there is you take the value, you take the dog, right. Plus 1.5.
I do like the Giants tonight.
I like the starting about a half hour. I like the line moving on the Reds right now. They've lost 3 in a row. It looks like the line's moving in their direction, which is a little bit weird. I believe they have Castillo, who's supposed to be one of their better pitchers. I think that's worth a look, especially when you're talking. They should be
plus money for the Brewers.
Woodruff.
So it's ace versus ace, basically.
Right. They're in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, even though these two aces are not really
right.
They're their best guys. I think Cincinnati gets a win tonight. Or if you want to take a look at their, what are they, plus? Well, the plus 1.5 is minus 207. So that tells you right there, 210, wherever it is, tells you right there that it's going to be a close game one way or the other. So
right. I mean, you're looking, if you wanted to bet the money line on either of those two teams, they're both minus.
Right. So you're minus 110, minus 105 in that range.
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. It's basically a coin flip, basically a pick 'em. And if you want to mess with the run line, then you're paying, obviously.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I've been starting to take alternative run lines. That team that's minus 1.5, jump them up to like plus 1.5, or I'm sorry, vice versa. The team that's plus 1.5 to minus 1.5, and I've hit 2, and then I lost 1 in a nice parlay, and it crushed me. I haven't taken it since, but. It was the Marlins against the Nationals. They were plus 1.5, took a minus 1.5, needed it to close out a parlay, and they won by 1. They did win the game.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You can
get into those lines and start seeing where you're at. But
another team that I consistently look to back. And I always get beat on. I like the Royals at the run line tonight. Plus 1.5. You're getting them at minus 110. They've been terrible. They've lost 4 out of 5, 3 and 7 in their last 10. I think that they finally are able to get something done. They have Matt Harvey on the hill, so it's Matt Harvey against Adam Wainwright. Adam Wainwright is 110 years old. So. I would look to back Kansas City there. I think St. Louis is 1, 4, or 5. They're a good team. They're not that good. I think that at some point, again, I keep saying water finds its level. I think they're going to come back down to earth. So if you're looking for a little bit of value there, I think plus 1.5 at only minus 110 odds is pretty solid.
Yeah, Paulie, you mentioned this, taking a team that's getting runs and take the alternate run line where you have to win by 2. I'm looking at the Mets and Marlins, second game of a doubleheader here, and the Marlins, if you wanted to take them plus 1.5, it's minus 114. But if you wanted to change that to Marlins, given the runs, let me go and find that. Marlins given runs, I think is plus like 250. Okay, because the Mets,
it's nice.
It's crazy, and the Mets are throwing Seth Lugo out there who stinks.
Right,
they're going with a bullpen game, and I mean
exactly.
if the Marlins can jump on him early. So that'd be a nice little something to look at as far as alternate run line goes.
So Las Vegas Aces WNBA tonight. Hammer it.
What'd you say now?
Las Vegas Aces minus 9.5. WNBA. One of my Twitter plays.
I like it.
Who plays for Las Vegas Aces? Who's their best player? You have no idea.
Zero clue. I lost on Phoenix Mercury the other night.
Oh my God,
turds!
I'll be honest. I didn't even know they were on TV until I saw a commercial for it the other day.
Yeah,
I'll never get over how the Denver Nuggets are all of a sudden just unable to stay within 10 points of the Utah Jazz. It's insane.
Listen, when two complete mushes are on opposite ends of the spectrum, they're trying to get in the magnetic field, and then it just keeps going back to one end, and then eventually.
I just want one cover from that. One cover.
Honestly, I thought this. I don't know how Utah's up 3-1.
That's what I mean.
They shocked, especially like game 1. Denver came out. I was like, all right. And then game 2, Utah won. Game 3, I pounded Denver and just nothing. And completely embarrassing. Gobert's out here looks like he's the next
dunking on everybody. Every loose ball is falling right into a white jersey. It's one of those things where, as a bettor, when you're looking at it, I was like, when you just took the Nuggets money line, it's already over. I know that I'm not winning that. And then I'm thinking to myself, I should have taken the spread. Why did I get? Why would I do that?
Another turnover.
Another easy bucket.
Keep it up, Utah, though. I like this. This will feel good until about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when they're shooting foul shots for me to lose. Anything else you guys got on tonight?
Well, listen, I was going to talk about a little, NFL futures.
Yeah, I've been looking at. By the way, I've been glancing at the first week. Dude, we forgot we have to close the show with Austin Peay versus Central Arkansas State on Saturday night.
The Governors.
Football is back on Saturday.
Wait, when's that start?
Yeah, 6:30 Saturday night, man.
Is it actually this Saturday?
Yes, it's back. It is officially back.
How? I was just watching ESPN and I thought they said that college football was supposed to start this weekend. And now, what the hell? Hold on. Are they? I know UAB plays like early too, but I didn't know that was NCAA.
You got to go to FCS because they're not the FBS teams. They're FCS.
Hi, Lori. Is that game even is that even FCS?
Central Arkansas,
Division 2 or Division 3.
They say it's FCS. That's okay with me. As long as I get the line on it.
It's all right. That is the one. That's what, Saturday, Thursday, Western Carolina, Eastern Kentucky. Now we're getting crazy.
Yeah, buddy.
And then just look how sick this is. If anybody can see this, just 1,000 postponed fucking action games.
God, that's
the
depressing.
Worst. The absolute worst.
But
listen, it's very encouraging. I'm going to knock on wood, where they talked about all the NFL players and personnel, coaches that all got tested. And if you throw out the garbage,
positives.
if you throw out that garbage, not one person, not one, has tested positive. So, I mean, we're only a couple weeks away now from the start of the NFL season.
Thursday, September 3rd, South Alabama Southern Myths. So a game that some potential on the guys on the field.
Love it. Can't wait.
No lines though.
Yeah, you look at some of these. I mean, if you want to look at the first game,
this is sick.
The Chiefs Texans. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to lay 10 points against a team that, like the Texans, that has talent all over the field. So you got the first game jitters. You got all that. I think that game's going to end up being a little bit closer than possible. Obviously, my thoughts could change, but
they have fans there, right? 22%.
13. I think they said they're going to allow 13,000 people in. I think they said something like that.
Wow. I mean, that's the biggest line of the week.
Yeah, and it should be. I mean, it should be. You got the
defending
Super Bowl
champs
opening at home on Thursday night, of course. But
you know what I just hate? I hate when you've got a 14 parlay and the last game is a late night West Coast baseball game. And you go to sleep, and then you wake up the next morning and you look at the score, and it feels like this.
Justin Thomas, after his excellent approach shot, ran all the way toward the back of the green for birdie.
Dude, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Well,
the best is the example.
Dude, I love it. I love these golf guys. They're all mic'd up now. There's no crowds, and you get something like that from Justin Thomas. The F-bomb rip. You don't even care.
I mean, you listen. You got to know better than that. You're going to put. I mean, golf is the most annoying sport of all time, and you're going to let these guys wear live mics?
You guys like Boise State's women lacrosse this year?
Yeah, solid.
I gotta go to my source, Mike Velarde, on that
one. or Rafa would take something like that.
The tennis.
Yeah, I got tennis at 4 a.m.
Well, listen, do not ever knock the Hiroshima League in China when you're drunk at 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
You and Nick love that stuff, man.
Yeah, and you can watch it. You bring it up on the computer, live stream it through the TV. It's good. Good time. Hiroshima League. For you guys that missed that one.
It's tennis?
Yeah, it's tennis. It plays in like Japan. It's daylight by the time we're like just getting home from the bar, and they're just starting. And then obviously the TVG. TVG is always you got some Australian races. There's bet always.
There's always something to bet. That's true.
I mean, I've sat at West End at like 2:30 in the morning with the TVG channel on in the back after you just get pummeled in college football. Come on, 6. Yeah, he's been dead last. And then pretty should have got scratched before the race even started.
Jesus Christ. I thought we were bad, but I think Scoops takes the cake.
Oh, dude. He's bad.
No, I'm not that bad.
There's and what's funny is I know both of us know guys way worse than him.
Wait a minute. Did I just look at the comment? I was just gonna say I wanted to see if somebody was in here. I didn't even see you said that, but that's
awesome.
Yeah. What do we got? NFL. When's that? Something that's 13th that starts? 2 weeks?
The 10th. I think it's the 10th, right?
Well, that's the Chiefs.
That's the Chiefs game, and then the rest of the games are the first Sunday is the 13th.
Yeah.
How many fantasy football leagues are we in this year?
I do have a couple.
I think I'm only. How many am I in this year? two of Brian T's.
Right.
And I'm in the one with my father. That's 3. I think that's it for right now, which is awesome because I'm normally in 6 and I can't keep control of it.
Dude, I was doing 6, 7, 8 leagues for the longest time.
It's too much, man. It's too much.
It's too much. You got guys going against. You got your guys going against your opponent's guys in this league, and then because then you're watching the games and it's like, oh, my guy scored. Wait, I'm going against this league.
Fuck, he's against me.
It's not fun. It's not fun that way. Three leagues is fine. I mean, I can even understand if some people are in 5, but 3 leagues to me is perfect.
No, listen, if you could successfully, you do like 3 leagues of plus 200. And if you have like those like the $25, $50 leagues that are just ha-has, he, I don't give a hell about that.
Right. Yeah,
you
that's
forget
true.
that you don't bat an eye, but I mean those leagues are the ones that save you in the end because you're like, I lost my big one, I lost my other second real big one, and then I lost my really big one, but I won my little kitty one. Right. So it's kind of like just like taking a couple straight bets out of the parlay and kind of.
So yeah, I mean, I was doing like the 5-6 league thing too for a long time, and then 2 years ago I went down to one league, and it was Brian T's Elite League, the big money league,
the big money one, right?
Yeah, and I ended up taking him the championship because I focused all my energy, my fantasy energy, into that league. Like I concentrated the most on that. I paid more attention to the waiver wire. I paid more attention to I was more careful with trades, stuff like that, and ended up winning the championship that year. And of course, last year I get back in. I got in a pick auction league with you, Hob. I got in another league over here, and then we end up, and then I stink again. I say it never fails. I said, what? Come on.
And I just want to point out that the year before that, in that pick auction league, I won the championship. And then you come in and we stink.
It's not my fault Juju got hurt, dude. I mean,
that killed it.
Juju
last year?
We took him early. We took him the second round pick, and Ben got hurt. So Juju became irrelevant.
Right.
And then
you mean Duck Hodges wasn't going to do good throwing to him?
Poof.
My God. Any dude named Duck is not going to be good for you.
Duck Hodges and friggin' Mason Rudolph swinging his helmet. I mean, no shot. No shot.
I did get a fun fact today. If you, I didn't see it. Somebody brought it up to me. If you draft Gardner Minshew in the first round of your fantasy leagues, you get free Bud Light. I don't know what the whole thing is. Did you see it, Hess?
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it was in the first round. It's the first round he's got to be drafted in?
Yeah, I took it as he had to draft him in the first round of your fantasy league.
And you get free beer.
I'm a seltzer guy anyway.
Fantastic. Oh my God.
Gardner Minshew, Bud Light. Let's say.
I thought you just said the draft was at some point in your draft. You got to take him to first round.
Fuck that! It's a chance.
On.
Oh, a chance to win it. Yeah.
Minshew is bringing the Bud Light. Draft Gardner Minshew in the first round of fantasy for a chance to get a Bud Light on us. I'll spend the $2.50 at the bar and buy it myself.
Now listen, can we just create a free league and just
right?
You know what I mean? Can we just
create
do that?
1,000 free leagues?
Right. There we go. Perfect solution.
But
I can't wait for football, bro. I cannot wait for football, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
this has been fun. This has all been fun, but I mean, football's back, and we actually can enjoy watching a sport again. Well, until
we're gonna have. Do you realize how irrelevant like baseball may become?
Oh God!
Like
it always does. It always does. But this year is going to be
but summer is baseball.
Yeah.
Now you got NBA playoffs, the hockey playoffs. You're going to have NFL starting soon, right in around the time where you're going into like Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be a diehard baseball fan to watch 9 guys out there with 0 fans.
Right.
I mean, granted, the same in the NBA, but the NBA at least looks a little appealing to the eye.
Yeah.
Baseball just kills me watching cardboard cutouts of people's dogs.
Yeah, I'll be watching the Phillies. But other than that, I'm going to be doing.
When are you going to watch the? You're going to watch the Phillies when the Lakers are playing the Clippers.
I'll have it on the iPad. I'll watch it.
Oh, you got a second screen, dude. You got a second screen.
You got to have a second screen.
I got 2, and I'll have the hockey friggin' playoffs on before I have
that
baseball game on.
Hockey stinks, Brian T.
Are they going to be playing NFL games on Saturday? Because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If we're coaching the Hawks again. If we're coaching again, I got to put something in while I'm there. Give me the
We'll listen, put something in it's Saturday walkthrough.
Well, that was a very Saturday thing. You walk by you after your game. I walk mine. How bad you go? It's bad.
I'm down 7.
And then you can't even get bailed out on the Ducks at 11 o'clock or Boise, Hawaii at 2 a.m.
Yeah, what do we think about like only a couple conferences actually running a running a conference only schedule? And a lot of these conferences are just saying screw it and we're going to play in the spring.
Well, listen, I don't know nobody that is a top player of Ohio State or any of the Big Ten team. Those guys are not going to play in the spring when the NFL draft is just coming up.
It's crazy.
Those guys are done. And that sucks for them because they have to be you already have to be established to know where you're going to kind of fall in the draft. I mean, some of them they know where they're going or know the round of selection, but I think it helps the guys that are playing because now they got more TV time. They don't have all the other conferences showing, so now it might give that guy that's a little bit lower on that totem pole a better chance of getting drafted. Which I think those guys should be able to transfer and go wherever the hell they want this year. If they want to play, they should go to Alabama, go to Clemson, go wherever you want.
Well, there was already talk of Justin Fields, the quarterback who was originally from Georgia, transferred over to Ohio State.
To go back to Georgia.
Now he wants to go back to Georgia because he just wants to play football.
Right.
It's crazy that you're not going to allow these kids, and like you said, Paul, we're just going to play in the spring. What do you mean you're just going to play in the spring? What about the other sports? What about the draft? You can't just play in the spring. That's not logical.
Right. Well, I mean, you'll get the guys that are looking to get drafted, the juniors and the seniors that are still there. I mean, those guys will go out and play just to try to get a roster spot. But I mean, you're not getting the top defensive end going to go out there. Why the hell would you? They don't even play fucking bowl games.
No shot.
Going to go play a whole season.
But
that doesn't mean anything.
How much is that going to hurt their draft stock when they don't even play their last year before coming in the league?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what they got to think.
They got to be pretty established, and I mean these guys are. When you're opted out, they got to start talking to agents like now. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Who are you gonna rely on? The coach to give you advice? I mean, this is something nobody's ever experienced before. But I mean, if I was one of those top guys, there's no shot I'm playing in a meaningless.
I agree.
Especially if they decide to do like a playoff or some kind of system to set up a champion. Traditionally, the traditional timeline, and now you're saying I can't even be a part of that. What's my motivation to play at all?
Exactly. What are we winning?
Yeah, you win. Is there even playoffs?
I think there's going to be with the teams that are playing the regular schedule. So playing a regular schedule, meaning from now or from next week through whenever it is. For spring, how are you going to have a national championship when the other guys already played?
So it's going to be an Alabama Clemson national championship again.
Correct. It's when you already have the SEC and the ACC, who have the best teams in Division One, and then you're going to play in spring and say, "Oh, we won the national championship." You didn't.
Well, that's
loser. You would have gotten blown out.
I think the Big Ten comes off looking so bad here because they opted out and they thought the other conferences were going to follow suit.
Yep.
And they said, "Nope, we're playing. Screw you, dude."
The Big Ten commissioner even said, he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect all this pushback." Hey, jerk off! You canceled football in the Midwest. You didn't think you were going to get pushback on this? Are you the dumbest human being ever to live? Of course, you're going to get pushback.
It's crazy, and there's no way they can go back on it. I mean, they're
no,
just out.
You made your bed. You got to lay in it at this point.
All right, so it is 8 o'clock. That is an hour for us. So we're going to wrap it up here.
I got to put bets in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get them in. Get them in, man.
Every time my head's like this, there's
something else is going in. The Total Degenerate Show, along with the other shows on the Sports Box Network, always sponsored by CrowdPlay. Free app you can download on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Win cash and prizes by answering live sports questions. Use our exclusive code, THEBOX, at sign up for 10 free points. Check them out. Check this out. So thank you, everybody, for your comments and viewing the show tonight. Stick around because at 8:30 tonight, we have the highly opinionated show doing their NFC and AFC North previews. I believe Mr. Hovermale here will be a part of that show. Big Packers
We'll be
fan.
talking about the Packers for a couple minutes. Better than night, by the way, for me anyway. Yeah, we'll see about that. Better than night for me. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Take the Arizona Diamondbacks. Don't say I never did anything for you.
Well, it's been the Total Degenerate Show. Myself, Brian Hess, along with Ryan Hovermale, Paulie Scoops Allen. We will see you next time. Highly opinionated, 8:30. See you guys later. Deuces.
Las Vegas Aces.
Who's on the team, bro?
Thank you for watching the Sports Box. Follow us on Facebook at Sports Box Show, Twitter at Sports Box Show, Instagram at The Sports Box Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 points. See you next time.